Hey everyone, thanks for joining. As of today, I have seen The Rise of Skywalker 4 times, and I thought it would be a really good opportunity for me to go back and look at what my predictions were going into the film, and let's find out if I'm just completely full of shit. I am. I'm completely full of shit. So before we get started, if you would like to support our channel, we would really appreciate it. And you can do that best by going over to our Patreon. We don't have any price tiers or anything like that. You can donate as little as $1, and it will help us keep the channel going, doing things like paying for our website and promotional work and all the stuff that kind of goes in behind the scenes that no one ever really sees. You can also check out our merch store, which is also in the links down here, and you'll find merch from us and some of our friends as well that you can buy and look pretty good, or like a pool cleaner, as I do. Alright, like magic, the headphones have appeared in my head, so that means it's time for me to hit play on my phone here, and let's go through my predictions and let's see what we think.
So my first prediction is probably going to be a little bit obvious.
Right, first one.
If you've listened to me talk about this,
yes, an obvious one.
On
what could this be?
Or any of our friends' channels. It's Raylo.
Raylo.
Something is going to happen, and it's going to fall under that banner of...
Past Matt was really daring. Oh, look at you and your big predictions, your big risky predictions. Raylo's gonna happen. No shit.
Large subset.
No shit.
The fandom that is insisting that it's not going to happen, and that if it does happen, it's going to be some...
And yeah, there were some people, and there still are some people that are really upset.
Bullshit. It's going to be great. Those two, Rey and Kylo Ren, or Ben Solo, are two sides of the same coin.
A dyad, if you would.
They are going to continue, as JJ said in a recent interview, to make each other stronger, and we're going to get to see that on screen, and they together will be victorious.
Okay, so I've paused it, and yeah, let's talk about the Raylo thing. So it was probably the most obvious prediction that I could have made, and it was pretty vague. We got it. I mean, look, we've been saying for a while now, Raylo's canon, and that was before the movie came out. What do you fucking know? It's canon. You can't deny it anymore, and you can stick us on a block list, and you can stick your block list up your ass. There's nothing that you can change that is, or do, that is going to make the kiss not have happened, and I'm really fucking glad that it did. It was awesome. So score 1 for the prediction, I guess. I guess we could talk about Ben Solo dying at the end, but we're not going to, because that wasn't part of the prediction. I'm still processing how I feel about that, but, you know, that's a video for another time. So let's get into number 2.
Okay, my second one, I don't want to admit it, but I think the Millennium Falcon is going to get destroyed.
Yeah, so Sean had this one as well, you idiot. We're both fucking idiots.
The first
Millennium Falcon get destroyed.
I felt flickers in my chest, and the concept of it being destroyed by the end of the saga, it just makes me feel a little bit sick. In the same way that if someone had...
It's the old car that will never die.
Spoiler that Han died in Episode 7, I would have not wanted to hear it. I feel the same way about a ship, and I think that says something about how Star Wars has been crafted.
Yeah, it does say something about the ship. Like,
put that kind of attachment.
The concept of the Falcon being destroyed,
it really is,
upset me more than some of the stuff that was meant to be emotional in The Rise of Skywalker. Let's pause it for a sec. So yeah, that was a thing. Like, when Chewie died, I thought, okay, that's gonna probably be something, and you know that all bets are off. Chewie's dead, like they've killed the teddy bear, but of course they just undid it a few seconds later. So then at that point I thought, nah, Falcon, and I remember thinking this in the seat, Falcon's gonna survive. So yay, it did, and I'm glad. All right, let's keep going.
If we're going to talk about other characters dying, I actually think a lot of the sequel trilogy characters will be safe. However, I think Chewie's gonna die.
Yeah, so I thought Chewie was gonna die.
I won't
Did he? Can I claim this one? Can I say that he died?
think he's gonna make it out of this. I think that is
Yeah.
going to
Well,
be
you're an
one
idiot
of the
because
emotional moments in the film. If it
you
does,
sat there in the cinema thinking, "Oh, you were right, and this sucks."
I got a bad feeling.
But I paused it. Yeah. When Chewie died in the cinema, you were like, "Oh no, you were right," and you were for a couple of minutes. Yeah, you were right for a couple of minutes. So I don't know if that counts. Glad he's not dead because that would really suck. But when it hit, yeah, like I said earlier, like I thought all bets were off, and then it turned out, well, no, I didn't. And I'm going to take this moment to sort of comment about some of the verbal exposition in the film. I didn't need Hux to say there was another transport. I saw 2 transports. And by verbally reinstating it, you took away the chance for me to basically go, aha, I got it. And, to have figured something out myself. But that's cool. Like, it's a minor thing. Overall, I enjoyed the film. Like, there's just little nitpicks and stuff like that. And that's one of them. Like, I didn't need the verbal exposition there. I didn't need verbal exposition in other places. You could just show me that Chewie survived, and I'd go, how did he survive? Oh, there were 2 fucking ships. Duh. Anyway, keep going.
Will not be a Skywalker.
Rey will not be a Skywalker.
Stay a nobody, and Rey will maintain.
What did I say? What else did I say?
Of being from nothing and becoming something.
Oh, this is a hard one.
Cut that, which JJ said he's not going to change anything that Rian Johnson set up.
Yeah, Rey.
To undercut that, as some people are speculating will happen, I feel would be a bit of a travesty for the character.
Yeah, I groaned in the cinema.
There's something about her past and her upbringing and her isolation that really speaks to me. And
Poor you.
See her go through
Yeah.
that search and trying to find that sense of belonging and that realization that she has all of the tools at her disposal that she needs. To have that all of a sudden just be because of her blood.
Don't you look like a dickhead now?
I think a real shame.
Yes.
So I'm going to
I look like a dickhead.
that's not going to happen, and I really hope I'm right. And I should add, when I say a Skywalker, what I mean is by blood. I don't mean taking
Well, you got that.
name because she has no surname at this point. I mean that it's a bloodline thing.
Yeah, that was reasonable. Okay, so the bloodline thing, I've been saying it, and actually when the trailer first came out, or the teaser came out, and I was standing there at Celebration, and it said the title, it was like The Rise of Skywalker, everyone immediately speculated, it was like Rey's going to take the name, or it's going to be a new Jedi Order. It was one of those 2 things, turned out to be one of them. Everyone speculated it. Everyone thought it, and at the time, no one thought, that's going to suck. All of a sudden, the internet's like, oh, that sucked. I thought it was fine. I actually quite like it. I'll explain why in another video. But yeah, the whole by blood thing, I guess that's the caveat to me being right about it or wrong. Like, I didn't think she was going to be a Palpatine. I couldn't have predicted it. If someone had told me beforehand, Rey's a Palpatine, I would have gone, I can see how, but what about the whole coming from nothing and nowhere and all that stuff? And it's like, okay, well, we've got to rethink it. And I'm going to do a video about this, but basically, I think in the grand scheme of things, I'm okay with it. I've come to terms with it. There are people that aren't, and that's okay with it. That's okay. Like, if you're not okay with her lineage being part of the story, that is completely cool. And that's, that's just how it is. I'm okay with it. And I think I'm only okay with it because I'm looking at it from the perspective of a complete 9-film saga where it is constantly about bloodline and family, and it would be an anomaly at the end there to just be like, oh, and actually there's this no one. It wouldn't have killed anything by doing it, but I think you could argue that having her choose to be nobody or not from her bloodline is still a really powerful message. There are a lot of people out there that come from a horrible family or a horrible background or have pressure put on them based on who their family is or who they are. And being able to have a message that says you make the choice, none of that shit matters, that is still a very powerful thing. And so I've come to terms with it, and I'll dive into that in another video. Let's see what this last thing that this past Matt idiot
My final
said.
prediction is Anakin Skywalker will appear.
Anakin Skywalker will appear.
Back. I'm going to say
Idiot.
He will appear.
Knob.
He will play
Fucking
some
idiot.
very important
But he should have.
part.
Important role.
Where Ben Solo goes.
No. And it had nothing to do with Ben Solo. It was to do with Rey.
I know that's two predictions in one, but fuck it.
And it's something to do with Bendemption. Yeah, okay, Bendemption happened. Stop. Okay. So Bendemption happened, but it had nothing really to do with Anakin as such. It had actually more to do with the Vader mask. Maybe you could argue that channeling the Force through the mask, it was maybe Anakin pushing back and saying, don't do this dark side shit. But that's a stretch. It's a real stretch. There's a lot in this movie, in The Rise of Skywalker, that you could probably unpack for a long time, because in some areas they just gave you so much information that it was overload, and in other areas they gave you not enough. And it's in those areas where it's not enough that we could be diving into this and speculating and ripping it apart for a long time to come. And I'm kind of glad for that, at the very least. Like, it's certainly not my favorite of the Star Wars films. It's probably down below. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still processing it. But overall, I had a good time. I liked it. It just didn't do everything that I hoped that it wanted to do. But I am thankful that there's going to be a lot of extra things and extra canon and media that could come from it. So yeah, that's it. I think I had some okay predictions. I think I had some stupid ones. I don't know. I'm fucking tired.